Hi, it's Jan Johnson, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really glad that you're here. And today what I'm going to talk about is the fact that a good story is worth repeating. I'm going to tell you a little history of something where I experienced, in a very naive fashion as a 21-year-old girl, something in Vegas, and then a story from my own experience in network marketing. And that is that long time ago when I was 21 and I went to Vegas with my girlfriend and we went to a show. It was kind of an intimate gathering show, but it was really good, and the singer came out and did little bits in between the songs and that kind of thing. It was very entertaining, and we decided to stay for the second show. That was an option. We could do that. We just stayed for the second show, sitting there having a good time. And during the first show, what this guy did was, at one point in time, he actually tripped over the cord to his microphone and then made some kind of a joke about it. And everybody laughed. It was really appropriate to what had happened, and I laughed. But then we stuck around for the second show, and the exact same time, after the exact same song, he supposedly accidentally tripped over the cord again and made the same joke. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I thought that was spontaneous before. How embarrassing. He's telling that again for the second time. I know he told it before. That was my naive 21-year-old reaction when I heard this. But the point is that he was doing a show and he was entertaining. It got a laugh. 99.9% of the people that were seeing it for the first time and didn't know that that had happened in a supposed spontaneous fashion before. And I've thought about that so many times over the years. And in network marketing, especially when you are around maybe a rep and they're bringing various people to you, you end up telling the same stories over, and that same rep hears the same story because they're bringing a lot of people to you in three-way calls or whatever. Then you move on further. Maybe you're doing home meetings. Maybe you end up even doing meetings in a hotel, or you're on stage. And when that happens, as you grow in the business, you're telling stories. And some of these stories hit a chord with people. And telling the same story over might seem like oh, I've already done that kind of a thing, got to think of a new story, when the people in the audience are actually waiting for you to tell that same story. As a matter of fact, they are bringing their guest to you to hear that story. An example of that was, I remember when I was with a company and we opened in Canada. And so I spent many months up in Canada doing meetings. I was in British Columbia, and I would go to Calgary, then back to British Columbia. And I remember I told a story one time about the fact that it cost X amount of dollars to become a representative in this company. And I'm a former CFO of IBM. And the price that I would pay for a suit to interview for that job at IBM would be more than the price that it would cost to become a rep of this company and be in the business. I just used that as an example. Well, then the next time I was there, I didn't use that example. It was a spontaneous example that came to me while I was up on stage talking. And this woman came up to me and said, oh, you didn't tell the suit story. And I said, what story? And she repeated it to me. I said, oh, okay. She loved that story. She brought someone to hear me tell that story because it struck a chord with her. And so every time when I would go back to BC and she would be there, she would come up to me beforehand and say, don't forget to tell that story. Don't forget to tell that story. So that sticks in my mind. Realize if you have something that's a true story and it may resonate with someone, don't be afraid to tell it over and over, because people in the audience are looking for you to hear that because it resonates with them and they want the people they bring to the picture to hear that story. I hope this video helped you. If it did, please comment and share, and thanks so much for tuning in.